Welcome home, everyone. Jarrell here. Oh boy, it's been a it's been a long year so far. Let me go ahead and power this down. So, I'm still not back to my regular upload schedule yet. Work has been a bit rough, but I sure am glad to see you all, and I hope to hear from you in the comment section. I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to share a little bit of this with you. This is a $50 lap steel that I picked up. I have a better quality one somewhere, but I need another one for work to have them tuned in different keys. So when it comes to playing the lap steel, I'm still very early on in my learning journey. I'm still the lowest level of novice that there is for playing this, but my level of skill only needs to be workmanlike at the moment, as I'm using them for work, and I just need to be able to fill in the sound in some soundtracks that I'm working on for work. So I don't need to be performance level, but I would like to get there someday. But this is a kind of instrument where you really need to spend time with it. You need to spend your dedicated play sessions improving and developing your skill. You need to see how other players are playing it, and I just don't have the time for that at the moment. So right now I have to settle for a workmanlike level of skill, which I'm not, I wouldn't play this in a session. I wouldn't play it with other people. I'm certainly not at that level yet. But at a workmanlike level, I can play it in my studio. I can stumble through, some takes here and there, and I can get the sound on some tracks. So while they won't be great, it'll certainly be sufficient for work. So I wanted to share this one in particular because this is a Carrera brand instrument, and Carrera makes the absolute worst instruments, but they're very low priced. And if you are good with tools, if you like working on a project, if you like hobby instruments, then from that perspective, Carrera makes great instruments because it's something that you can work on. I paid about $50 pre-owned for this from Facebook Marketplace, and I didn't even get stabbed when I met the guy to pick it up. So that's a bonus in my book. One thing that I absolutely had to address when I first got the instrument was the nut here. This is not the nut that normally comes on the instrument. When I picked it up, the normal nut is this very soft wood, which negatively affects your sustain. As the vibrations run back and forth along the string, the wooden nut will absorb the vibrations and it won't send as much back. In terms of timbre, or what people call tone, generally it's the material on the bridge that has the noticeable effect. The nut, not so much, but it does affect the sustain. And of course, if you're using a bar, for the most part, when you're using the bar, you're going to get the sustain from your bar. I use this solid steel bar. You can also, if you want, for dexterity's sake, you can be a bit more dexterous with the hollow pipe, but there's significantly less sustain from something like that, especially on the lap steel. Whereas if you're playing slide guitar, a six-string guitar, slide, this is ideal for that. But you generally get a more full sound with a nice heavy bar like that. I'll link, if I can. I'll probably get up in the morning for work, and I'll probably edit this video description. I'll link to Doug Bohmeyer, who is just a brilliant musician, fantastic lap steel player. I really enjoy listening to his music on YouTube. So I'll put a link to his channel. You guys should definitely check his music out. He's just really fantastic. So I had to adjust the height on the pickups there. Had to buy a light gauge of strings for this guy. It's tuned to open G. The tuning machines are rough. They're not what I wouldn't I wouldn't brag about the tuning machines on here, but they get the job done. They mostly hold tune, but this is not a professional level instrument. I would say this is a living room level instrument, and it's certainly good enough for the studio if you're doing all the work yourself. If you're sort of a no one's seeing you play this. I'd be a little bit embarrassed to play this around other musicians, especially in the studio, but I have a much better quality lap steel that if I needed to record with other people. But I generally compose and do all my own recording. So I bought this second one. My other lap steel is tuned to open E, and this one's in open G, just to be able to perform and record different music on that. So in general, you'll see slide lap steels. Sometimes you'll see that have the dual setup, and they can have them in different keys as well. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. The sort of the overlay here is, I have to share this with you. It's so tacky and nasty. It's just this sort of like a perspex or some sort of a thin plastic that's been screwed down, and it sort of has this spray paint. You can tell they would have put a template on top of it and just spray painted over it. So it looks pretty tacky. It's quite ugly, but it's functional, and it works totally fine. There's no particular, you probably heard it just then, but there wasn't any particular pickup noise, just from idling. So I was quite impressed. The pickups are shockingly good, but oh boy, this is just quite a visually unpleasant instrument to look at. So I wouldn't necessarily bring this out, in front of other musicians. But if you need a lap steel and you don't really have a ton of money to throw around, because you aren't sure even if you're going to be playing a ton of lap steel, if you want to try to see if lap steel is something that you click with, then if you can find one for like $50 US, absolutely, because this turned out to be quite a good instrument. It does the job, and if you're just playing in the living room, it's totally fine. That's all I wanted to share with you today. So I hope you're all doing well. I've been working very long hours. I've been working more than 130 hours a week, and that is why I currently have not been posting very often. So, okay, hopefully sometime next month my work schedule might settle down a little bit, and I can have a little bit of balance. So, all right, it's good to check in with all of you. You take care of yourselves. Come home again soon. I'll leave the porch light on.